Hey everyone, Lauren here. Thank you so much for tuning in. I haven't given a review on a performance I've seen in so long. I don't know what happened, but I really want to get back into it. I love giving you guys updates and news about performances that I've seen and fantastic musicians as well as how they performed. The most recent musician that I've seen perform was Florence and the Machine, and that was at the Hollywood Bowl in Hollywood, Los Angeles, Southern California. Great place, sometimes. But I did choose to see Florence in Los Angeles. She performed two nights, Sunday night and a Monday night. So I was really excited to see Florence. She is one of my most favorite recent musicians. In my opinion, she's recent. And I haven't really gotten into any type of female vocalist for a long time who is at the status of Florence. To be honest, the last musician I kind of got into in terms of fame and media coverage, major media coverage with Lady Gaga. I will admit, when Lady Gaga first came out, I was pretty intrigued. But enough about Lady Gaga. I love Florence a lot. I love her style. I love her appearance. I love her personality. Her voice is absolutely amazing, and I have to admit that is one of the things that really intrigued me about Florence was her voice. It's very uh, deep, and I have to be honest, I don't know all the terminology when it comes to vocals or types of vocals, but hers stands out to me a lot. Very mature, and her lyrics are really fantastic. I love the symbolism that she has in her videos. If you look up vigilantcitizen.com and you see details about symbolism is used in Florence's videos, it's very interesting. So, okay, Florence's performance. Now, okay, I'll start from the beginning. I was a bit disappointed in the opening bands that she had. There was a band that performed called Maccabees, and they had more of a kind of subtle ambient sound that I can see relates to Florence. They were okay. But then she had a type of pop singer. I forget his name exactly, but I didn't really dig him so much. He was pretty different from her, but of course, when she came out at some point, she did give her thank you to the opening performers and said that she really enjoys their music. So, okay, those performances were Florence's choice, and I really wanted to see Florence, and I had to sit through two opening bands that weren't incredibly impressive to me. So that kind of, killed my excitement a little bit. And then the other thing I have to complain about is that after the second performance ended, it was 45 minutes until Florence started. So, I mean, when you're sitting down for 45 minutes, it's like, come on, perform already. And so that also killed my excitement. And that is one of the main complaints I have. In fact, it's the only complaint I have about the whole thing. I hate waiting. It's just not my favorite thing. Okay, so when Florence performed, she was absolutely astounding. I love everything about her. Her voice sounds just like her recordings. And okay, I will admit, I'll reference back to Lady Gaga again. One of the things that really surprised me about Lady Gaga when I watched her live performances was that when she first came out, I think that she's adjusted her voice now, but her voice was way deeper than her recording. So it just really surprised me. I was like, whoa, she has had major effects done on her voice to have it reach a more feminine high pitch. But Florence, she sounds just like her recordings. Her voice is so beautiful. It is just, it's untouched. The studio versions of her songs. And my favorite song that she performed was What the Water Gave Me. That is my favorite Florence song. She played it towards the beginning. She sounded just like the recording. It's just absolutely beautiful. Really took me to another place in terms of, uh, how I feel when I listen to the music, when I listen to Florence's music. So that was really great. I have to admit that I am not a die-hard Florence fan in terms of knowing all of her song names and albums, but she did play a good selection of songs from her older albums and her newer album that just came out, Ceremonials, since this was part of the ceremonial tour. So that was really nice to have that combination of newer songs and older songs. And throughout the whole performance, she said thank you to the crowd repeatedly. I was honestly surprised. I have never seen a more thankful performer ever. She said thank you again and again. She said, it's so happy for me to be here in Los Angeles. I'm so happy to perform for all of you. Thank you so much for coming here. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. She just kept going on, and it was like, whoa, she really made me feel that she appreciated me. And again, like I said, I've never seen a musician that was more appreciative. So very cool. Another thing that I really love about Florence is how she dances. She'll move her arms around like this or her hands. And she has this very elegant dance and movement that she uses throughout her performance. She kind of hops across the stage as though she's like she's a fairy or something, or a princess. It's I don't know, to me it cracked me up. But that's another thing I like, is this type of um, this elegance that she has through her performance, this type of dance that she implements, and it's very unique to her, in my opinion. She always wears very beautiful clothing as well, and it really suits her elegant movement that she uses. So, very beautiful performance, and it's simply her. It's Florence that is really beautiful, and it really stands out to me because, in my opinion, I have to admit, I don't view Florence as the most beautiful woman in the world. She does have features that stands out, her hair, her figure, but really what makes her beautiful to me is, again, her movement, how she carries herself, and how she speaks. Again, how she was thankful to the audience. I mean, that was very sweet of her. And she definitely got the crowd involved with her performance. Now, I was at the Hollywood Bowl, which the Hollywood Bowl is a seated arena. It's all seated, everyone's sitting down, and when Florence first started playing, nobody stood up. I was honestly surprised. I was like, whoa, when What the Water Gave Me started playing, nobody stood up. I was like looking down the aisles. I'm like, you guys, this song is absolutely amazing. I stood up and listened. Uh, but eventually Florence said, you know what, I know this is a seated place, but stand up, and I really like that about her too, because it just makes it so much more exciting and energetic when the crowd is standing and appreciating the performance. So very cool. And throughout her performance, she actually kind of told the crowd what to do. She was like, I really love to see people on top of other people's shoulders. So she encouraged people to do that, and she encouraged the audience to do other things that allowed her to interact with the audience, allowed her to, count and say 1, 2, 3, and the audience would do things. So that was another thing that was really fun, and it got the audience pumped and more excited to listen to her, which, in my opinion, saved the performance. Because if everyone continued sitting down throughout the whole show, I was like, this is going to be the most boring concert ever. And it's sad because, in my opinion, Florence is a really, I think she's a musician that should be noted. For her vocals, her style, her lyrics, the symbolism that she uses, her maturity. She stands out to me a lot. So I'm really happy that she took that extra step to pump the audience, to get them excited and more involved with her performance. So ultimately, that's what I have to say about Florence. I I really loved seeing her perform other songs as well. Obviously, No Light is cool. Okay, one thing I do have to say that I don't really like about her performance, her live performance, is that she doesn't hit all of the high notes that she does in her studio versions. And this honestly kind of frustrates me because in the studio versions, there are parts of the songs where she hits high notes that stand out to me a lot. I think it's beautiful, or it's just a unique sound that I like. And during her live performance, of course, musicians do this, they do their own little live version of the song. So, parts where she was supposed to hit high notes, she ended up doing a low note, a really low note, and it disappointed me. I'm like, oh my god, Florence, are you lazy? Why did you just skip that epic part of the song and replace it with some low key that is not, it's just not exciting, it's not thrilling, and it's just not what I want to hear. So I don't know. I guess it's her take on the song. She just doesn't want to hit the high notes, or maybe I don't know why she does that. I know I've seen other live performers who do the same thing. They don't hit the high notes. They'll take the easy way for some reason. So that's one of the things I didn't really like about her live performance, was that she just didn't hit the high notes when I wanted her to. But other than that, she's very sweet, and she is a really fantastic performer. Again, very appreciative, very interactive with the crowd, and I look forward to seeing her again. I would definitely see her again. All right, thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you guys have a great week. Okay, or just a great time altogether, no matter what you're doing or what time of the day it is.